Every December, right around the holidays, millions of older Americans fall into the same routine. They check their bank account, they watch the mail, they look at the calendar. And this year, a familiar but quiet question keeps coming up. Is Social Security giving us something extra in January? Before we go any further, take a second to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss regular updates like this. And please like and share this video so it reaches others who truly need this information. Because prices didn't take a holiday break, grocery bills didn't slow down, heating costs didn't wait, prescription prices didn't magically drop just because it was Christmas week. So when people started hearing talk about a Social Security Christmas gift or a $250 increase showing up in January, it grabbed attention fast. But let's slow this down, because clarity matters a lot more than excitement. This is not a random giveaway. It's not a surprise stimulus check showing up out of nowhere. And it's definitely not every single person getting a separate $250 check in the mail. What's actually happening and why it matters is a shift in how January Social Security payments settle for many people during a time when every dollar matters. If you're retired, if you're on SSDI, if you receive SSI, or if you help support someone who does, this is something you need to understand clearly, without panic, without rumors, and without misinformation. Now, here's where the confusion really starts. People hear $250 added and immediately think, okay, when does the check arrive? Is this a bonus? Is it another stimulus? But that's not how Social Security works. January is what's known as a reset month for Social Security payments. It's the time when multiple adjustments finally line up after months of inflation changes, Medicare updates, and policy timing. For some people, once all of that settles, the difference between what they were living on in December and what they receive in January can feel close to $250 more per month. Not for everyone, and not in the same way for everyone, but for a meaningful number of seniors and disabled Americans, the change is real. That's why this conversation matters. Think about someone receiving roughly $1,500 to $1,700 a month in retirement benefits. Increases may be announced earlier in the year, but they don't always feel like increases because costs rise at the same time. January is the first month when those adjustments hit all at once, before mid-year changes, before temporary offsets, before things get spread out. For some households, January feels different. It feels like there's finally a little breathing room. If you're thinking, I didn't notice anything extra last January, or my neighbor always seems to get more than I do, you're not wrong to question it. Social Security is not a one-size-fits-all system. Two people can work the same number of years and still end up with very different outcomes because of Medicare premium deductions, SSI rules, state supplements, past overpayment recoveries, or even differences in filing age. That's why one person may see a noticeable increase while another sees only a small change or none at all. It's also why scammers love using phrases like Christmas bonus or guaranteed $250 check. Those words create urgency, confusion, and false hope. That's not what we're doing here. What we're doing is explaining how legitimate Social Security adjustments work, why January matters, and how to tell whether this change actually applies to you. Because if you don't understand where your money is coming from, you can't protect it. Right now, Social Security systems are updating millions of records. Payment amounts are recalculated. Deductions are finalized. Benefit letters are refreshed. From the outside, that process doesn't always look clean. Some people see changes before January deposits arrive. Others don't see anything until the payment actually hits their account. And some people panic because nothing looks different, only to realize later that the net amount changed, not the gross number. That's why the phrase $250 added can be both meaningful and misleading if it's not explained properly. For many seniors, the increase doesn't show up as a separate line item. It shows up as less being taken out, more staying in, or a higher final deposit. In today's economy, especially during winter, that difference matters. So in this update, we're breaking down where the January increase really comes from, who's most likely to feel it, who might not see it at all, and what you should do if your payment doesn't look right. No scare tactics, no guessing, just clear explanations in plain language. Social Security may be complicated on paper, but it shouldn't be confusing in real life. As we move forward, keep one simple question in mind. Did my net income change going into January? not what a headline said, not what someone posted online, what your actual numbers show. January isn't about surprise money, it's about how the system resets and whether that reset works in your favor this year. Most people think Social Security works like a paycheck. You get a raise and you see it immediately. But that's not how this system operates. Social Security works in layers, and January is the one month when several of those layers settle at the same time. That's why January feels different. Every benefit starts with a base monthly amount, calculated from your work history, earnings, and filing age. That base doesn't change month to month. What changes are the additions and deductions around it. January is when those finally lock in. One of the biggest factors is the annual Cost of Living Adjustment, or COLA. You hear about COLA months before it takes effect. It gets announced in the fall, talked about in the news, and debated endlessly. But most people don't actually feel it until January, because January is the first full payment where COLA is fully applied. Take someone receiving about $1,600 a month. On paper, COLA raises that amount, but during the year, Medicare costs and timing issues can cancel out how it feels. In January, the adjusted amount becomes the new normal. This is where many people get tripped up. They look at the gross benefit and say, that's only a small increase. But the real story is in the net amount, what actually lands in your bank account. Medicare Part B premiums are automatically deducted for most recipients, and those premiums can change year to year. When Medicare deductions settle at the same time COLA is applied, the result can be a noticeable net gain. For some people, the difference between December and January can approach $250 per month. Not because Social Security sent a gift, but because less is being taken out while the adjusted benefit is fully applied. SSI adds another layer of confusion. Supplemental Security income works differently from retirement benefits. It's needs-based, with strict income and asset limits, and its payment schedule is different. SSI payments often arrive early, sometimes even before the month officially begins. That timing causes confusion every January. Some people see a payment in late December that covers January and think they received extra money. Others see nothing in early January and worry something went wrong. In reality, it's a scheduling issue, not a missing benefit. When SSI adjustments line up with COLA changes, it can look like a bonus when it's really just timing. Social Security disability insurance follows Social Security rules more closely, but disability benefits often involve dependents, family maximums, or past overpayment recoveries. If Social Security is recovering even a small overpayment, that deduction continues in January. So while the benefit technically increases, part of it may not reach your bank account yet. That doesn't mean the increase didn't happen. It means part of it is being redirected. January payments are also considered clean payments. There are no partial month adjustments, no temporary holds, and no mid-year recalculations. January sets the baseline for the year. That's why professionals use January as the reference point. When people say their benefit went up by about $250, they're usually comparing December's take-home amount to January's take-home amount, not the gross figure. Payment timing adds even more confusion. Some people are paid early in the month, some mid-month, and some later, depending on their birth date or program type. SSI follows a different schedule. So when people online say they already saw changes, they're not lying. They're just on a different schedule. Comparing payments only works if everything else is the same, including program type, deductions, and state rules. State differences matter too. Some states provide supplemental payments. Others don't. In states with supplements, January changes can feel larger. In states without them, the change may feel small or non-existent. That's why people in different states report completely different experiences. One thing must be made clear. There is no official Social Security Christmas bonus or holiday check. Any call, message, or email claiming that should be ignored. Social Security does not announce benefits through texts or social media links. Legitimate changes show up in your benefit letter, your online account, or your actual deposit. The real question isn't whether Social Security gave out a gift. The real question is whether your January net income settled higher than December's. That's what matters. Some people benefit more from this reset. Some only partially. Others may not feel it yet. Understanding why makes the difference between calm patience and unnecessary stress. For retirees who've been on Social Security for years, January changes are often easier to see because their benefits are stable and deductions predictable. For people receiving both Social Security and SSI, an increase in one can reduce the other, which can shrink the net gain. For SSDI recipients, recoveries and family limits can delay how much of the increase shows up. And for others, Medicare premium increases can cancel out gains entirely. January is also one of the busiest months for Social Security systems. Online updates may lag behind deposits. Benefit letters may update late. The deposit itself is the final confirmation. If something truly looks wrong, Social Security often corrects it automatically within 1 or 2 cycles. Instead of asking whether everyone got $250, the better question is what changed in your January net income compared to December. January isn't just another payment month. It's the foundation for the year ahead. If your deposit increased, even modestly, that tells you the system reset worked in your favor. If it didn't, understanding why matters more than rumors. January is about stability, not headlines. If you saw an increase, use it wisely. Cover essentials first. If you didn't, check deductions and timing before assuming something went wrong. And most importantly, don't fall for holiday scams. There's nothing to claim, nothing to sign up for, and no special link to click. When you understand how January works, the fear fades and confidence takes its place.